It was New Year's Eve, and a group of friends had gathered at an old secluded cabin in the woods to celebrate. The atmosphere was festive, with laughter, music, and the scent of delicious food filling the air. As midnight approached, the excitement grew, and they prepared to count down to the new year. Little did they know, this night would change their lives forever. As the clock struck midnight, everyone cheered and raised their glasses for a toast. But amidst the celebration, a strange glowing portal suddenly appeared in the center of the room. The friends stared in shock as the portal pulsed with an eerie light. Before they could react, one of them was pulled into the portal, vanishing without a trace. The remaining friends panicked, unsure of what to do. They quickly realized that the portal was not of this world, and they had to act fast to rescue their friend. With a mixture of fear and determination, they decided to enter the portal together. As they stepped through, they were engulfed in darkness and felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The friends found themselves in a strange, otherworldly realm filled with twisted, nightmarish landscapes and ominous shadows. The air was thick with an unnatural mist, and eerie whispers echoed through the darkness. They struggled to stay together as they navigated the treacherous terrain, searching for their missing friend. As they ventured deeper into the realm, they encountered a sinister figure, the guardian of the portal. The guardian was a tall, shadowy being with piercing eyes that seemed to see into their souls. It demanded a toll for their passage, revealing that their friend's life was at stake. The friends had to make a difficult choice to save their friend and escape the realm. The friends reluctantly agreed to the guardian's terms and offered a valuable keepsake from each of their pasts as the toll. The guardian accepted their sacrifice and allowed them to continue their journey. As they pressed on, they found their missing friend, trapped and unconscious, surrounded by dark energy. They quickly freed their friend and prepared to leave the realm. With their friend in tow, the group made a desperate dash back to the portal. The realm seemed to close in around them, and the whispers grew louder, threatening to consume them. They reached the portal just in time and leapt through, emerging back into the cabin. The portal closed behind them, leaving the cabin silent and still. As the friends caught their breath and tried to make sense of what had happened, they realized that something was different. Their rescued friend began to act strangely, their eyes flickering with an unnatural light. The friends quickly realized that the entity from the otherworldly realm had followed them back, and their friend was no longer who they once were. The new year had brought a new horror, and the battle was far from over. It was New Year's Eve, and a group of friends had gathered in an old cozy cabin nestled in the woods to celebrate. The air was filled with laughter, music, and the aroma of delicious food. Everyone was in high spirits, excitedly counting down the minutes to midnight. As the clock neared 12, the friends gathered around the living room, ready to toast to the new year. As the clock struck midnight, everyone cheered and raised their glasses. Suddenly, a phone rang, cutting through the celebration. It was an old landline phone that hadn't worked in years. The friends exchanged puzzled glances as one of them answered the call. On the other end was the voice of their deceased friend, Sarah, who had died in a tragic accident the previous year. "You're in danger?" she warned. "You must leave the cabin before it's too late." The friends were in shock, struggling to believe what they had just heard. They gathered around the fireplace, trying to make sense of Sarah's warning. They knew she wouldn't have called without reason, but they couldn't leave the cabin without understanding the danger. They decided to stay and decipher the cryptic message, hoping to prevent whatever horror awaited them. As the night wore on, strange things began to happen. The lights flickered, doors creaked open on their own, and cold drafts swept through the cabin. The friends felt an oppressive presence, as if they were being watched. One of them found an old journal belonging to Sarah, filled with notes about a dark entity that she believed was responsible for her death. The friends realized they were dealing with something far more sinister than they had imagined. The friends pieced together the information from the journal and Sarah's warning. They realized that the entity had been attached to Sarah and had followed them to the cabin, waiting for the right moment to strike. The entity fed on fear and despair, and it would stop at nothing to claim new victims. They had to find a way to banish the entity before it was too late. Armed with the knowledge from the journal, the friends decided to confront the entity. They gathered salt, candles, and protective symbols, setting up a circle in the center of the living room. As they chanted a banishing spell, the entity manifested, a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. The air grew colder, and the friends felt the entity's malevolent power. They held their ground, determined to send it back to the darkness. As the friends chanted, the entity grew more aggressive, trying to break through the circle. Suddenly, the phone rang again. One of the friends answered, and it was Sarah's voice once more. "You must leave now," she urged. "The entity is too strong. It's feeding on your fear. Go to the old tree outside." The friends realized that staying inside was making things worse. They quickly grabbed their coats and ran out into the freezing night, heading for the old tree. The friends reached the old tree, where they found a hidden compartment in the trunk. Inside was a sealed box containing a talisman that Sarah had prepared to protect them. As they held the talisman, the entity shrieked and dissipated into the night. The friends realized that Sarah had guided them to safety one last time. They vowed to honor her memory and never forget the night they received the midnight call. In the small town of Willow Creek, New Year's Eve was always a grand affair. The town was famous for its spectacular fireworks display, attracting visitors from far and wide. This year, the excitement was palpable as the townspeople prepared for the celebration. The streets were adorned with lights, and the aroma of festive treats filled the air. However, beneath the cheerful exterior, an old tragedy loomed. A tragic fire that had claimed many lives during a New Year's Eve celebration years ago. As the townspeople gathered in the central square, the mayor took the stage to recount the history of Willow Creek's New Year's celebrations. He reminded everyone of the tragic fire that had occurred 50 years ago, when a stray firework had ignited the old wooden buildings, causing a devastating blaze. Many lives were lost that night, and it was said that the spirits of the victims still lingered, seeking vengeance for their untimely deaths. As the sunset and the fireworks display drew closer, strange occurrences began to unfold. Flickering lights, unexplained cold drafts, and distant whispers unsettled the townspeople. Some claimed to see shadowy figures moving through the crowd. The local historian, Miss Thompson, had long believed that the spirits were restless and sought revenge. She urged the mayor to cancel the fireworks, but her warnings went unheeded. At midnight, the first firework exploded in the sky, dazzling the crowd with its brilliance. But as the fireworks continued, the spirits of the victims began to manifest. Ghostly apparitions appeared, their faces twisted in anguish. The air grew colder, and a sense of dread swept over the crowd. The spirits were here, and they were angry. Panic ensued as the spirits wreaked havoc on the celebration. The fireworks seemed to take on a life of their own, exploding dangerously close to the ground. The townspeople ran for cover, but the spirits pursued them, their wails echoing through the night. Miss Thompson knew that the only way to appease the spirits was to honor their memory and seek their forgiveness. Miss Thompson quickly gathered a group of townspeople and led them to the site of the old fire. They formed a circle and began a solemn ritual to honor the spirits. They lit candles, offered prayers, and recited the names of the victims. As the ritual continued, the air grew warmer, and the spirits' wails softened as the final prayer was spoken. The spirits slowly began to fade. Their expressions softened, and they seemed at peace. The fireworks display, now under control, continued in the background, lighting up the night sky. The townspeople watched in awe as the spirits ascended into the heavens, finally finding the peace they had long sought. The town of Willow Creek had learned a valuable lesson that night. They vowed to honor the memory of those lost in the tragic fire every New Year's Eve. The fireworks display would continue, but it would now include a tribute to the victims. The spirits were finally at peace, and the town could look forward to a brighter future, free from the shadows of the past.